Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're totally demystifying the high-stakes world of buying Indian real estate remotely. Look, if you've ever tried to buy a property from miles away, maybe across the country or even from across the globe, you already know how overwhelming it can feel. Will the property actually look like the pictures? Is the builder reliable? What if important details are being hidden from you? It can be a massive source of stress, for sure. But today, we're going to break down exactly how you can take the guesswork out of this process, quiet those anxieties, and step into the digital age of real estate with absolute confidence. We've got a really clear roadmap for you today to turn that chaotic property search into a completely controlled process. We're going to quickly cover the remote buying dilemma, the RERA-approved solution, online versus offline real estate, empowering first-time buyers, and finally, a safe remote buying playbook. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the remote buying dilemma, navigating the chaos of scattered offline buying. Let's just go ahead and acknowledge the real anxiety that comes with buying property from a distance. Traditionally, remote buyers face some major risks. You are basically depending on unverified ads, totally incomplete information, and the insane pressure to make a rushed decision without any clear starting point for due diligence. You know the ones, those glossy picture-perfect billboards or digital ads promising an absolute paradise. But when you're hundreds, maybe thousands of miles away, relying solely on that surface-level marketing copy is incredibly risky. Your transaction quickly becomes a gamble because you're heavily dependent on fragmented information. Without a structured foundation, remote buyers are essentially navigating in the dark, and that leads to immense stress and a very real fear of making a costly mistake before you even move forward. Moving right along to Section 2, the RERA-Approved solution, finding structure in the digital marketplace. Let's look at how a totally new paradigm flips this risky scenario completely on its head. To escape all that scattered offline wilderness, we first have to answer a really fundamental question. You might have heard the term thrown around, but what exactly is a RERA-approved remote property platform? Understanding its core function is the absolute key to empowering your search. Well, it's basically an online real estate platform designed specifically for stronger compliance, complete transparency, verified listings, and a much safer remote buying journey. The crucial takeaway here is that this structure heavily reduces your confusion. Because it's backed by the Real Estate Regulatory Authority, it actively filters out the noise of fake or misleading ads. For remote buyers, this matters immensely. It literally transforms the entire experience from a high-risk gamble into a much safer, significantly more reliable journey. So your decisions are finally based on solid, transparent data instead of just crossing your fingers and making hopeful assumptions. Let's dive into Section 3, online versus offline real estate, the shift to digital empowerment. Now that we know what these platforms actually are, we need to see how they stack up against the old school way of doing things. The traditional offline route basically traps you. It's a messy web of scattered follow-ups, super high-pressure sales tactics, and an annoying reliance on physical site visits, which is literally the exact opposite of what you need when you're buying from afar. But when you step into the digital space, it's a real game changer. You gain total empowerment. You get way faster comparisons, a much broader choice of properties, and most importantly, highly structured information all centralized in one single place. That means you can thoroughly screen, filter, and verify your options long before you ever commit your valuable time to a phone call or buy an airplane ticket. This is especially huge as we roll into Section 4, empowering first-time buyers, tools for confidence and context. Because let's face it, first-time buyers really need a highly organized digital marketplace to avoid those dreaded rush decisions. Platforms like the Letwizard ecosystem literally replace confusion with a highly structured journey. It's a step-by-step flow. First, you've got seamless property discovery across a massive digital landscape. Next comes verification, which is your absolute shield against those fake listings we just talked about. Then, valuation tools step in to give you a reality check on the financials, culminating in select property bidding, all centralized in one place. By bundling all these elements together in one comprehensive marketplace ecosystem, the early stages of property buying become incredibly easy to wrap your head around. It just creates this natural, seamless flow that makes remote buying highly practical and vastly less stressful. Now, what's really fascinating here is why tools for property estimation and mortgage calculations are absolutely critical for giving you the full picture before you commit. Beautiful visuals might draw you in, sure, but they definitely don't tell you if a property is actually fairly priced or if the long-term financing makes any sense for your budget. Online buyers need more than just visuals. They desperately need context. You absolutely have to compare property values before pulling the trigger. A strong digital platform integrates these exact property estimation and mortgage calculation tools to give you that vital context. You aren't just admiring a pretty house, you're analyzing its true financial footprint. Finally, let's bring it all together in Section 5, Safe Remote Buying Playbook, your blueprint for due diligence. We're going to build out your practical, step-by-step process for making a totally safe transaction. If you want to completely eliminate your dependency on that scattered offline chaos, you need a strict blueprint to judge any property properly. Here's what to check before choosing. Number 1, ensure it has passed strict verification. Number 2, demand pricing clarity. Seriously, there should be zero hidden surprises. 3, thoroughly analyze the location fit for your specific lifestyle or investment needs. 4, confirm there's financing support readily available right there through the platform. And finally, number 5, evaluate the listing detail. Does it actually give you enough deep, factual info to make a remote judgment? When you utilize platforms built around these principles, running through this exact checklist becomes a natural, streamlined part of your everyday discovery process. I really want to anchor our whole explainer on this single, super powerful mantra. Remote buying works best when you verify first and decide second. It literally hits the nail on the head and perfectly summarizes everything we've talked about today. The traditional offline approach often pressures you to decide first, based on pure excitement or the fear of missing out, leaving you scrambling to try and verify the critical details later. But a structured, transparent digital platform completely flips that script. It gives you the verified facts, the structured comparisons, and the valuation tools right up front. Only after you have all that context do you actually make your decision. So I'm going to leave you with a provocative thought to chew on as you step up to take control of your real estate journey. Ask yourself, does your current property search actually rely on verified facts, or are you just blindly trusting surface-level marketing? Are you relying on platforms that prioritize compliance, transparency, and structure, or are you still risking it all in that unverified wilderness of traditional offline follow-ups? By seeking out organized digital marketplaces that offer real tools and true verification, you can completely eliminate the uncertainty of long-distance real estate. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep demanding those facts, use the tools available to you, and build your confidence as an